everybody. Welcome to the Finger Lakes Regional Airport, where I have seen nothing. There's nothing here today, no owl. There has, and speaking with the gentleman inside, they have yet to see an owl this season. So we're still going without having seen one here. And I'm referring to snowy owls. And we had seen them the last few years here, but not so far. I should say seasons, the last few seasons, not so far this late fall, early winter season. It is mostly cloudy. The sun is almost kind of sort of peeking through a little bit over to my right. I've seen Canada geese here in the air, and see, I think there are more Canada geese in the air. Let me see if I can show you. At good altitude, and see if I can find them. All of a sudden I can't find them. They were at high altitude, flying in formations, and that sort of thing just makes me think that they are migrating geese. Now it seems to be a little bit late, but maybe everything is running a little bit late this year. As I drove along Cayuga Lake, very often this time of year I expect to see varieties of ducks there swimming here and there, varieties that I don't normally see, let's say, in the summertime. Not really seeing that, not yet. So I'm wondering if, and I have to admit, I have not paid a lot of attention to the weather in, north of New York, meaning Canada. I have not really paid much attention, and but my understanding is things haven't really, I didn't turn the music on, I just want the cameras off. Anyway, 36 degrees, I couldn't see the temperature. It is 36 degrees, like I said, mostly cloudy, and there is some precipitation falling. Not a lot, and as I drove here, I often had to have my, my wipers running, but not heavy rain, but rain nonetheless, the kind that requires either clearing the windshield, or if you're walking about with a camera, keeping the water droplets off the lens. So we'll see how things go today. Already had a minor technical difficulty, but I've taken care of it, but I have to do some homework now. Might be able to hear it now. As I'm driving, you can hear those small water droplets hitting the windshield. And those geese, or at least some geese, I see them in the air in the distance, Canada geese. I did not, as I was driving, I did not see on Cayuga Lake any snow geese. The visibility wasn't perfect, especially for some, when you're driving and not stopping to actually take a look. But I did not, I didn't see anything as I drove. I hope everybody's been enjoying the holiday season. Obviously, New Year's Day is on Monday. I will be celebrating by not celebrating. I love Christmas celebrations, but after a while you get to be, just with all the hustle and bustle, it gets to be tiring. And for me, I'm, should be able to relax if I choose on New Year's Day, and I'm not doing any celebrating New Year's Eve. So I personally am looking forward to just some peaceful time. It's funny for me. I'm always hoping to see. I see some crows to my left. Always hoping to see birds, and even this morning, it started out kind of cloudy, rainy, a little bit foggy, or actually I don't know if it was raining. Actually, there was light snow, and visibility wasn't great, and you could tell that there had been some precipitation overnight. And very often when there is precipitation overnight, then just how quickly the birds are up and about and moving around and getting, coming to within my view can be different. And sure enough, it was kind of different. It was like, okay, where are my hawks? I kept looking and looking and looking and not seeing any, and then finally I saw one. And so on a peaceful day like I anticipate New Year's Day to be, it may be peaceful, but maybe I won't be getting anything done if I'm just looking for birds. Let's just take a quick. I have no idea if these are the same geese, but you can see we've got lots of goose activity in the air. And I just wonder if migration has been delayed by mild weather further north. And I mean mild weather over the course of, let's say, the entire season. We saw, in autumn when we were still visiting Wildlife Drive, sure, we saw Canada geese and everything, but it kind of seems like we may not have seen quite as many as we had, let's say, in prior years. And I just wonder if some were delayed, not for bad reasons, but if some just have had a slower schedule in terms of arriving here from further north. Again, speculation, I don't know, but I just wonder. Some species, and I'm not an expert on migration or anything else for that matter, but some species, seem to have their migration habits and patterns very much influenced by, by the weather conditions that they encounter. Other species might just simply, leave their breeding areas and areas they remain in the summer. They may leave those, at a set time, essentially, no matter what. But some species do seem to just leave when it's when they find that, okay, food is more difficult to find, or it's becoming more difficult to find, then they might move on. To our left, at I can't remember what the name of the college is. They just recently changed the name, relatively recently. Canada geese are, some of those Canada geese that we were just seeing in the air, they seem to be landing there. and I've seen that over the years many times. It's called the Northeast College of Health Sciences. I don't exactly remember what it had been called before, just a couple of years ago, but they've changed it anyway. And it seems like they've done a lot of they've made many changes, not just the name change. They've changed other things too. I mean, at least from my perspective, you know, from the grounds, they're doing various things. And you see an area where it used to be just plain grass, and they've planted trees, and they put up signs saying "Forest in Progress." It'll be interesting to see how quickly, you know, for a forest to become a forest. Obviously, it takes quite a long time, but it'll be interesting to see how quickly it becomes something that is clearly other than just, you know, a meadow with a bunch of short, stubbly vegetation growing in it. Okay, more geese up ahead and to our left. Looks like they're landing, and there is a cornfield there. Maybe that's why they're landing, if I had to guess. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, there's a red-tailed hawk right here as well. Through the windshield. But something else I thought... Oh, here. I thought I might have seen something different in the air with some geese, Canada geese flying, but I could be wrong. All right, we're going to get going. Hello, hawk. Realize I forgot to do a couple things, just in terms of getting set up. Lift your feet, railroad tracks. Thank you. Actually, I'm going to pull over because I just realized there's something else I forgot to do. 1 second. There we go. Okay. the feeling our connection signals won't be that strong today. I just get that feeling. Could it have something to do with the weather? Sure, possibly. But I just assume not to speculate because I've seen bad signal days even when good weather, so you never know. At least at the moment, the sun is kind of sort of coming out. See some mourning doves. Oh, I see a hawk of some sort. Red-tailed, I believe. Not super close. We're going to keep going. Speed limit here is actually 55, but if you've tuned in before, you may realize that I tend to drive slowly through here. And because there's always a possibility in this stretch that we'll see something of interest. So I avoid speeding through it. And if I also try to avoid holding up traffic. So I'll pull over if I find that anyone's driving behind me. So far, nothing. We saw that red-tailed hawk in a tree, but nothing along the power lines, nothing obvious as I drive through. The stretch is actually interesting because it's not just red-tailed hawks or other large raptors that we might see here. We've seen smaller birds, including just a couple weeks ago we were looking at an eastern bluebird, and sometimes we'll see an American kestrel, which is a raptor, but it's also a relatively small bird. You know what, let's just go here quickly and take a quick look, just in case. just give it a quick look. I probably, unless I see something, I'm not going to even bother to show you. I do see Canada geese in the air. You know, again, large flocks at good altitude. I do see a northern flicker. Just flew across the road and into a tree. It's a type of, if you didn't know, it's a type of woodpecker. Oh, it just took off. It was right up here in this tree. I don't see it now. Okay, let's keep going. And, oh, who's that? Some smaller birds. They look like sparrows of some sort, but they've moved on already. To our right, I see, looks like a bird of prey in the trees. I don't know what it is. Let's see if I can get a line of sight on it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. It's a red-tailed hawk. I'm not going to get a good view of it, but it's a red-tailed hawk. It's behind the twigs and things like that. I was able to see it, but not, you know, not see it well. Maybe I should have shown it too. Sorry. See, now, I mean, just moments ago we were in sunshine, and now we're in, I don't know if it's rain or supposed to be rain, I guess. It's 38 degrees. Could be either one, rain or snow. And above Shockey Pool, I see what looks like a bald eagle. I think I hear sandhill cranes. I'm going to turn around. I want to, if if I can, I want to just get out of the car quickly. I'll climb the tower and just take a quick look just to see if there are sandhill cranes there within view. It's very possible. We have in the past seen sandhill cranes here. Let me have a quick look with binoculars from here. 1 second. Can't say things look pleasant weather-wise out there. And looking around, I don't see any, anything obvious in terms of birds on the water. What water I can see, but I just want to have a quick look from the tower because I thought I heard sandhill cranes, and it could be that they're over in a grassy area here. But I'll be right back. Don't touch anything. There is no doubt. I hear sandhill cranes, and I think I see some in the air right now. Shoot. I didn't even climb the tower, didn't have to. There's no doubt about it. These are sandhill cranes. There was another grouping of them, and I keep hearing them, so they must be moving over the area. I don't know if that means these are just flying around. They're at pretty decent altitude, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And lots of gulls coming through too. So we've seen sandhill cranes definitely today. Maybe we'll catch up with them elsewhere. But anyway, I'm glad we stopped. Okay, let's. We're going to. Hold on, what's that way out there? I don't know how that vehicle gets there, or if it's authorized to be there, but anyway. This just shows you, it's just another example of how important sound is. I had no idea they were coming, and I opened my window to have a better look at that bald eagle, and I thought I had heard sandhill cranes. And sure enough, there were cranes. They are wonderfully, beautifully loud, and when they begin vocalizing, and I was telling people just recently, how amazing the sound can be when they're in flight, in flocks, and they're vocalizing. And if you get enough of them and they're flying right overhead, I mean, it's wonderful to see them, but just as wonderful is the sound. Now, with this precipitation, we might be having issues with visibility. And I mean, just looking to my left and to my right, clearly the video or the visibility won't be very good. Isn't that terrible? I said clearly the visibility, I was about to say won't be clear. All right, let me take am seeing a hooded merganser or two over here. Just a quick look. These are hooded mergansers, and that one has a fish, the one on the left, which looked like a female. I'm not sure if I was just hearing more sandhill crane vocalizations. No. No, I'm hearing, I believe, tundra swans. See, I mean, we've got blue sky there, up ahead, and, oh, something in the air. What is that? Probably a gull. And it is difficult to get it through the windshield, but we did. And come on. Wrong window. Having a hard time focusing. I think that's nothing there, but yeah, it looks like nothing. Okay. And somebody just flew up here. Who is this? Looks like a woodpecker of some sort. It is, but I'm not sure what. Oh, it just took off. Okay, never mind. But closer to ground level. Not much going on, so let's keep going. Lots of homework this week. I don't know if it makes any difference in terms of the changes. And in fact, one thing I had hoped to change didn't work. So I had to swap it out and leave it for more homework. Not much excitement going on here. Sorry, it's shaky. I'm hand holding it, of course. And but I'm not seeing on this side where we might expect to see, you know, or we have been seeing eagles. I'm not really seeing any. And the autofocus is really struggling today. That sounded like a tundra swan. It's a tundra swan, I believe. Okay, let's. We're going to keep going. Not much going on here. In the last few weeks, we've seen quite a bit of activity. Whether it was not maybe a little bit less last week, but we've been seeing eagles and You know, common mergansers, maybe a few hooded mergansers, other bird species flying by. Now, all those sandhill cranes we were seeing just a few minutes ago, they may have, you know, come to land somewhere around here, who knows? Or maybe they kept flying on and, you know, we won't be catching up with them, but we'll see. You may recall a few weeks ago we were on, you know, here on this road back, was it around right here? I can't remember exactly where we were, but we were watching sandhill cranes come in for a landing, and then just the way the ground was, we were unable to see them, you know, on the ground. So, I mean, for instance, we may have just, for all I know, we drove right by them just minutes ago. Pretty quiet around here. I'm not seeing any. There's something in the air. What is that? Probably a gull. Yes, it's a gull of some sort. And as I drive here, there's some it looks like swans in the distance. We can take a quick look, maybe. Some swans and probably some definitely some Canada geese. Nobody's really close. Oh, and a bald eagle. And okay, let's take a look, and I'm going to try something different. Something I have not tried before. There we go. I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. One second. What is with this bag today? It's just the worst. One of these days I'm going to take some scissors to it. Anyway, hold on one second here. I hear Canada geese, no question, and I also hear tundra swans, no question. And I was right, I don't like the way this is working. This probably won't work for me. Well, we'll see. Maybe it will. Probably not. No, it's not going to work. Definitely not going to work. I'm sorry. 1 second. Another minute. Just appreciate your patience. I had a feeling that wouldn't work, and it didn't. Seems like everybody is either snoozing or at least they have their heads tucked down. I definitely heard a tundra swan. I don't know if any of these might be trumpeter swans. Canada geese, there's at least one mallard back there as well. Well, more Canada geese back there. I hadn't seen them out of the water. And I hear more tundra swans in the air. Oh, and on the other side, I hadn't seen them until now. The other side of the road. A few more swans. And let me look quickly for the bald eagle still in a tree. I don't, there it is. We're going to move on pretty shortly, but okay, let's move on. That wouldn't work. Okay. Oh well. In the past, you know, this time of year we have kept the broadcast running at least for a little while I drove back towards Ithaca after we finished the day in Montezuma. I don't know if we're going to do much of that today. We might drive and check out a couple spots, but I don't know if we're going to be driving too far together just because of what I saw on my way here, which was very little on Cayuga Lake. Played a fair amount of Christmas music last week, and I enjoyed doing that. It's nice to do that every once in a while, but I received an email from YouTube, and I'm not blaming YouTube for this, but notifications about the music. And I'm not trying to steal anything or anything, and there was basically the copyright holders were granting permission, but still I don't want to run afoul of the rules. I used to play music more often, but it's those concerns that have me playing a lot less than I used to. Sometimes actually, not that a million people are tuned into this live stream right now, but I sometimes wonder if some of the musicians that I might play would actually benefit just from exposure to even this small crowd. Sometimes you've never heard of an artist, and maybe I have heard of this artist, play it, and maybe you like a song, maybe you'll buy that song. So actually, right now I have a song in my head. It's actually by Cindy Bradley. I think it's called A New Day. I think so. I've had that album for some time. The album that's on, Unscripted, and but I only recently, and I've liked the song A New Day, but I've only recently realized how much I like it. That happens to me every once in a while with, I might have an album and then, you listen to it, maybe you buy an album for the most part because of a certain specific song, and you decide to buy the entire album anyway, and then maybe eventually you discover, even though you've had it in your library for a while, you might discover a song and realize, oh wow, I really like that song. Nothing. By the way, I did also, on my way to the airport earlier, I did drive along Sable Road, and, I saw nothing because I would have told you if I had seen something. See a snowy owl there anytime last year. But there's no doubt in prior years it was a good location to visit. Not many, just a few. Now, in the last few weeks, we've seen some goose decoys here, and it looks like there are more goose decoys. They've added some, or at least it seems it to me. More snow goose decoys. I'll give you a quick look, but I want to inform you, I am not fooled by these. We know they're decoys, but they've changed things for some reason. Mostly snow goose decoys, but some Canada goose decoys as well. Otherwise, I'm not really seeing anything here. nothing obvious at all. I don't see a lot of Canada geese. I don't see any swans or anything. No sandhill cranes. Nothing obvious that is standing out as I drive. We'll drive all the way, on this stretch across the bridge and turn around, just in case there's something on the other side there. This might prove to be a very quiet day. Who knows? To our left, in the air, looks like a bald eagle. Is it an eagle? Yes. Flying now right above us. Turn around. That could be the same eagle in the air right now. Quick look. Looks to me like the water levels are high in the river. This stretch here is really another example of an area that we don't visit in the warmer months, and that's because these fields are, I guess, typically corn, but they seem to move things around. But they have the crops here, and they're not necessarily good for good bird watching in the in the summertime. I see, it looks like some swans, 3 swans to our right and up above. I'm not sure what they are, and I don't really want to stop here. I guess I could pull them there. We're going to keep moving. we're not seeing all that much yet today. We might see something here or there. But, you know, there are times when we'll come up here during the winter and we really won't see that much. You know, maybe the conditions are bad, everything is covered with snow or ice, and there might not be much to see. But, you know, we've had some good activity so far this winter, or, you know, winter month, or winter season, even though it obviously just became officially winter. We've had some good activity. Nothing, I wouldn't say, in terms of activity level, nothing exceptional. Okay, welcome to East Road. Ooh, our signal's bad all of a sudden. That area is just a tough area. Saw a car up ahead pulled over, and maybe another one, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Just take a quick look at binoculars from here. Looks like it's mostly Canada geese, and some of those geese are taking off right this moment. Just a quick look. A few ducks here and there. Not sure what they are, and we'll try to take a closer look in a moment. Just trying to give a general idea of what's here or not here. I haven't seen any sandhill cranes, but sometimes they're not that easily seen. See how rapidly those birds are flapping their wings? Those are ducks, not Canada geese. Probably mallards for the most part, if I had to guess. I want to set you down. I want to look at the binoculars very quickly. There are some swans here. If there are any cranes, I don't see them. cars up ahead pulled over. I don't see any sandhill cranes. There might be some. Let's take a closer look at things from here. Heard a mallard, and we're looking at Canada geese, obviously. And let's see if I can find those swans. Oh, there they are. Our view of them isn't great, but there they are. Look like mallards. I'm not sure. Could they be American black ducks? Possibly. I don't know. Visibility is not great. There's a little bit of precipitation coming down. You can hear a lot of Canada goose vocalization. I think we're going to move on pretty shortly. Okay. Just Canada geese coming and going primarily. So I think we're going to move on. never know. Those sandhill cranes that we saw at, from Shockey Pool, they might be the only sandhill cranes we see all day. We've driven around a bit, haven't seen any sign of them. Otherwise, just might have gone to an area we don't normally visit, or maybe they moved right through and they were heading, out of the area. I have no idea. In terms of managing our time, and in a way I don't mind. I mean, it just maybe gives us more time in Ithaca. I head this way again, just look around just a little bit. We won't go through every area that we just went through. As I said before, I mean, they might be in one of these fields, for instance, but not where we can see them. It's very possible. My hope is, to see them and to see them very well. We've had, definitely some good looks at sandhill cranes, and but when we have of late, it's been, maybe a family of 3, and it's a pleasure to see them. But somehow, when you have a larger group, if you get to see them up close, you might have some different sorts of interactions that you wouldn't have with just a family of 3. Turn around very, very shortly. One of the best looks I've had myself at a large grouping of sandhill cranes was right up ahead here. I think it was back in 2021, if I recall correctly. And while they weren't extremely close, they were close enough. We had a nice look at them. The lighting was not troubling in any way, and they were a pleasure to see. And that's what I'm hoping to have. I mean, like I said, we've seen them well on occasion, but I'm always looking for a better look if I can have one. All right, we'll turn around. Beep, beep, beep. It didn't beep? Huh. Should have beeped when that car went by. when we saw the sandhill cranes while we were at Shockey Pool, they seemed to be flying at decent altitude, so they didn't look like they were coming in for a landing just yet. And maybe they flew a ways before they actually decided to land. I guess if we really wanted, we could head out to Van Dyne Spoor just to take a look around. Maybe we should do that. Let's do that. Now, there's no winter maintenance, so it might just be mud, and more mud. But I think we'll head there, and we'll take a look around. And you never know, maybe on the way there we'll find sandhill cranes. .37 degrees. So not, obviously it's not warm and cozy out there, but it's not terribly cold. Did I go the wrong way? Yeah, I think I did. Well, I don't mind taking another look through here anyway. Some crows that away. We're going to turn around in a moment. I don't mind looking around here a bit. Usually go here, but it's nice to check out these cornfields. I'm not seeing anything. I think we'll turn around. Too far out of our normal path. Is he lost? No, I'm not lost. We don't normally come this way. There are cornfields. Well, there's cornfields to my right, and now there's a cornfield to my left. No sign of anybody. It's not, as you can tell, it's not really raining and or snowing very hard, but there's some decent wind by the looks of things. But it could just be that this is the kind of precipitation that would, tend to discourage some birds from taking flight. some of the raptors, for instance. Again, we drove by these fields that we're looking at on either side of me now earlier. It was my impression that there were fair numbers of sandhill cranes around that we saw, from the Shockey Pool area. And like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing them a little bit closer and on the ground. Actually, it's almost 2 o'clock. Well, we're still going to go to Van Dyne Spoor, I think. When I was at the airport earlier and talking to the gentleman inside, he told me that they haven't seen an owl, and then a snowy owl. Then he asked, has anyone been seeing them? And I pointed out that, at least for me, I rely on the way I deal with eBird and use eBird is I primarily just rely on the rare bird alerts. And what does that mean? Well, if you're signed up for them, you'll receive an email for rare bird alert sightings in a given area, and it's very helpful. However, you have to be concerned about a couple things if you're doing that, like I do. And that is, a bird, first of all, has to be reported by somebody on eBird. And secondly, it would have to be considered rare for whatever reason. Excuse me, my throat is really dry. So when it comes to snowy owl there at the airport, we were seeing them last winter, and we weren't always seeing reports of them. In fact, we weren't generally seeing reports of them on eBird, and had me wondering if either no one's bothering to report them on eBird, which is very possible, or if someone who has the ability to do so has decided, okay, given the time of year and everything and the location, maybe a snowy owl sighting should not be considered a rarity, and maybe somebody decided it's no longer out of the ordinary to see one, and they took it off the rarities list. As I've said before, sometimes a species that you might see, let's say, all summer long, would be considered rare in the winter time. And an example of that, actually, I've been seeing just in the last 2 days. I can't remember exactly where. Maybe it was in Tompkins County. A gray catbird sightings. And And, we've seen gray catbirds, in the spring. Well, it's definitely in the summer, but, maybe late spring into the summer and then into the autumn. Sure, we see them all the time, and, maybe we don't think much of those sightings. But in the wintertime, because it's a bird that normally would migrate out of the area, it's considered a rarity. What's that up there? 1 second. Looks like it's probably a mourning dove or a pigeon. Never mind. And it took off anyway. And I think it's a pigeon. And another pigeon. Looks like a few Canada geese in the air to my left. I'm not going to say we're going to see anything, but I thought we might as well just check. Just enough precipitation falling to be a little bit of a nuisance. I'm doubtful we'll actually see sandhill cranes here, but you never know. That's not the only reason why we're coming here. We might see something else, but... And we might find that things are really muddy up ahead. I don't know. Lift your feet. It's been a little bit since we've been here, and I'm going to treat it differently than I would during the warmer months. And given the weather, I don't think I'm going to be driving on the muddy portion with the windows down, which I normally would do, just so I can listen. Maybe I'll lower one just a bit, but... said, by the way, seasonal road, no maintenance from December 1st through April 1st, and as you can see, things are not looking great. Not terrible, but not great. Typically, what I believe they do, maybe not, I don't know if lately if they've been doing it every year, but they come through at one point or another and they re-smooth this road. Maybe they add something to it. This area, this stretch here usually is typically just left as, I think just as dirt. I don't know if they ever put, well, I guess they might put some rocks on it sometimes, but not too often. But I've never seen it as a paved road. And while a part of me wishes it were a paved road for my own, for my own benefit, easier to drive on. But I think it's better if it's not. It just forces people to slow down at least a little bit. Things are going to be quite different today than they were in the warmer months, I would imagine. Something there? No. And we probably, I doubt we're going to end up spending much time here unless we happen to see something really out of the ordinary. When they said no maintenance, they meant it. I'm tempted to turn around right now, not because of the road, but because maybe this is just a waste of time. Not seeing any birds at all. This, this reminds me of what I often say about Wildlife Drive being closed in the winter. Granted, it's not frozen over now, and maybe if we were to climb that observation tower, we'd see something from there, but in the winter, if things are frozen over, covered with snow and ice, then it's likely we wouldn't be seeing anything anyway. So for Wildlife Drive to be closed, maybe we're not missing much. And even though this isn't closed, it's actually open. There's really not much here. When I say there's not much, I haven't seen yet a single bird as I'm driving by. sure there's somebody out there somewhere, but I don't see anybody. I'm guessing this will officially be the least productive visit we've ever had to Van Dyne Spoor. Just look around with binoculars very quickly. I see a gull in the distance. Oh, and I see at altitude, it look like Canada geese, a flock of them. Not an enormous flock, but a flock nonetheless. Quite honestly, I would expect to see at least some Canada geese here, but you know, maybe the grazing isn't great. You know, given the vocalizations I'm hearing, I wonder if there are more geese at ground level already. I'm not sure, but we're going to keep going. Let's head back. It's a disappointment. I was hoping to see something, but, you know. If not while here, but maybe on the way. But or maybe some ducks in the water, but I'm not seeing anything like that. Geese are continuing to fly. Looks like they're forming a V right now. Oh, some I don't know what they were. Smaller birds, either finches or sparrows. I don't see them. We're going to keep going. .6 degrees. Quiet here so far in the Montezuma area, no question. The other thing is, I personally have yet to see any large flocks of ducks at the southern end of Cayuga Lake, and it seemed like some of the reports of rarities were they seem to indicate that there may have been, people were seeing a large, I don't know how large it is. I mean, I saw references to a large flock, but what does that mean? What might not have been a very large flock, but there have been times in the past when I've seen very large flocks there, and at least when I drove by this morning, I did not see anything like that. It could have been on the other side of the lake and not within my view. I don't know. The viewing is difficult from there. And the reason why is just because of the elevations, the homes and trees that are in the way, so it's difficult to see the lake from there. Now I see another vehicle ahead of us heading this way. Tempted to wave them off and say don't bother, but of course, I don't know what that vehicle was headed there for. I mean, we were there obviously to, maybe see birds. No idea why that person was going. Well, anyway, now some things it could be just a matter of timing and everything that there wasn't much going on, but in a way, I'm glad we did that because it just is. It says, okay, don't bother. And, I mean, unless I were to hear something special or whatever next time, I'm not going to bother. Lift your feet. Yep, okay. So I think we'll head back, obviously, and we'll take a look in a couple more spots, and then I think we'll probably take a break after that. As I recall the forecast, or at least the one I looked at this morning, it was for little to no accumulation today, and that's really all we've seen so far. That was 36 degrees according to my thermometer, so it's cold, but not cold enough to keep things accumulating. the forecast is like for tomorrow. I don't think it's, I don't know if it's much better than today. Really, I'm not complaining about today's weather, but I mean, I have to imagine it's not helping us much. But it's not like it's not as if it's so bad that it's, you know, making it so we can't do anything. I think the bigger issue, now I'm sure it has something to do with the weather, but the bigger issue might be that we're just not finding all that many birds to see today. Hold on a second. I see a lot of birds flying around now above the fields. I'm guessing they're mostly Canada geese. Just pull over here. Take a quick look. They look like Canada geese. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just coming into land in the fields and to graze. All right, let's keep going. We only have so much time. It's almost 2:30. I see some birds in the air. They're probably also Canada geese, but I don't know that yet for certain. Canada geese to me. We're going to start making our way out of the area, I think. Somebody's in a hurry. Quiet day up here in terms of bird sightings. So again, we're just going to either drive through or visit one or two more spots, and then we'll, I think, close up, take a break while I drive back to Ithaca. And we'll see how the weather treats us there. From what I can see of the main pool, the one that we drive around when we're on Wildlife Drive, I didn't see much, nothing stood out as birds on the water. Right now, the conditions are such that even if we were to see, let's say, a rough-legged hawk here in this area, with the snow falling, it might not be easy to see it well. I think we will, we'll try to visit some of the northern end of Cayuga Lake. We'll just check on a couple spots. If it looks like there's good activity, then we'll continue. If it looks like there's essentially nothing, and I suspect that's what we'll see, then, we'll soon take a break like I expect. is that? Some kind of a falcon, I think. Maybe not. Could be a harrier, actually. Probably is. And as before, I see to our right, we're in this field, there are Canada geese landing. Quite a few geese overhead, above it, looking like they're either coming in or leaving, probably coming in. And as we drive here, who is this? Looks like a bald eagle in the air, I would say. I think. Yeah, it looks like it. So we're going to take this detour here. Let's just take a quick look just to see if there's good activity on the water or not. I suspect there will not be. And the reason why I suspect there will not be is because things haven't really frozen over yet, and there's not, well, a couple things. I mean, they haven't frozen over not just in the immediate area, but like anywhere really, and there's nothing going on. And so there's, we're not seeing yet those large flocks of anything. There might be something way out there. We'll try to take a quick look. It's hard to tell. The visibility is not good, but I believe they're mergansers and some gulls. I'm not sure. I don't know. Could be common mergansers. Or maybe a mix of things. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, all of a sudden the precipitation is picking up a bit. We'll just drive a little bit, but I'm not seeing much yet, and I have a feeling we're not going to see much at all. Just flew over the road. Somebody did. I don't know what it was. there's nothing there. No, no waterfowl that I'm seeing. Normally, I would expect to see, various ducks, maybe some Canada geese, some swans, mostly tundra. But I'm not seeing any of that right now. Some mallards down below, right here, but not even a lot of them, just a few of them. There have been reports of late, again, of a red-headed woodpecker around here, but you've heard me say that before. Just taking a quick look. You never know. So far, I mean, I'd say I've been a little disappointed with Montezuma. I would have liked to have seen a lot more, of course. And, the only thing I'm really getting out of today's visit, we did see a few birds, but I'm getting more than anything, I'm getting the fact that, okay, this is what, now you know for certain that you wouldn't have seen much if you, by coming here. Always wonder if I skip an area, what did I miss? But so I know I didn't miss anything, at least in the areas I visited, but it's been pretty quiet. I think, what's that? Uh-oh. I see a red-headed woodpecker. I'm almost certain of it. Hold on. Yep, hold on. I don't know if I'll be able to find it again. This is a red-headed woodpecker. Haven't seen one in a while. Beautiful to see. Hey. Okay, just flew on to a different tree. Let's wait a moment or two and see if it comes back. I don't have it in my view. I don't know where it went. Let's wait. We're going to wait a bit. I'm going to move. It's a good thing I caught sight of that movement as it flew up to the tree. But it flew to, it did whatever at that tree and then moved on, and I don't know where it is now. I might be hearing a nuthatch, I'm not sure. Am I hearing it? I've never heard one before. I don't know exactly what they sound like. I definitely hear a nuthatch. Let me look around with binoculars. Now, a little background, the red-headed woodpecker, their numbers are in serious decline, and I haven't seen too many in my lifetime, and it's always been a treat every time I have seen one. I would have liked to have seen it better, certainly, but we did see it, and I'm glad we did. I think I might be hearing some Canada geese now. Yes, definitely. Well, it's almost 3 o'clock, so I think we better get under. I better get on our way to Ithaca. Very, very. Oh, now the snow is falling. Well, it's the first time I've ever personally seen one here. This is a good area for them and has been for, as far as I know, for years. I've seen the reports. I've never seen one here before myself. So I'm glad to finally have seen one. I've only seen one myself also, one or two in one other area, and that is near Mays Point. All right, we're gonna, I think it's time for a break. I think I may have just heard a blue jay, I'm not sure. I definitely see the Canada geese. And, Okay, well anyway, I think it's time for us to take a break. It's going to be probably about maybe 10 after 4 by the time I get to Ithaca and get set back up. You know, I might be hearing also a white-throated sparrow right now. Sounds like it. I may be wrong. Okay, anyway, we're going to take a break now, and I will see you all soon. Hopefully you got the message. Let me just double check. Hello everybody, welcome to the Cornell campus. It is mostly cloudy. Precipitation has been in and out as I've come here, so who knows how long it'll stay out. Right now there's no precipitation in my exact spot, but you never know. Anyway, it's 34 degrees, and I don't know if we're going to end up going to Sapsucker Woods or not. You know, given how late it is, and also given the weather. So let's anyway look around here on the campus and see if maybe we can find a hawk or two, if we're lucky. As I said, 34 degrees. We're on the Cornell University campus here in Ithaca, New York. We were lucky last week. We did manage to find both Big Red and Arthur. We don't have much time today before it gets too dark. Enjoyed driving around and looking for birds today, but of course I'd like to see much more than we have so far. It's been, in terms of actual sightings, it's been a quiet day. The campus is, you know, essentially closed, or at least I should say, they're, you know, Cornell is on break. The students are on break, winter break. And I don't know exactly when they're coming back, but I believe it's going to be, you know, probably like maybe the 3rd week of January. Somewhere around there. Still plenty of scaffolding on the clock tower. The clock tower is by far Cornell's most recognizable building. Starlings up there. as I continued away from the Montezuma area and drove along the lake, I did see some ducks here and there. Not many that were close, but I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe I had probably seen some red-breasted mergansers. I believe they were red-breasted. I didn't stop to really look at them. And I might have seen some common golden eyes and other species. So they're again the kinds of ducks we don't necessarily see in the warmer months, and that's one of the reasons why I like driving out that route, because once if they do spend time there, it presents some opportunities for us to see something we don't ordinarily see. However, if you do recall, just even last year, a year ago, when we would drive along the lake and spend time looking at significant numbers of individual, primarily waterfowl there. I just haven't seen many groupings like that, not yet. Going to get dark in a hurry, I think. I guess I wouldn't mind going to Sapsucker, but we don't have much time. I think going there might not be a good idea. It's gotten to the point where, I just, I can't imagine what it would be like to not have binoculars available to me, like, essentially at all times. Or at the very least, some magnification. I have a small, what's it called? Just a small little single eye scope, or whatever you want to call it, and it's, quite honestly, it's not the greatest. It's okay. It's actually, but I find it very handy at times because I keep it with me here in the car, and can be very useful. Binoculars I prefer much, just because it's two eyes and just easier to focus and handle. But my point is, it's, whether I'm home or in the car or whatever, it's just nice to if I see something, it's nice to be able to use whatever device to magnify. I see a, is that a goose? Yes, a Canon goose in the air, one. Nope, we'll go straight ahead here. Now last week, granted it was earlier in the day, but last week we saw big red in this area. No luck so far today. I'm not even seeing, I'm not really seeing much, if anything. Possibly a few Canada geese, yes, I think so, on Beebe Lake, but I'm not seeing anything else. You know, 1 second. Oh yeah, there's some mergansers down there, common mergansers also. So, common mergansers, Canada geese. No surprise on the mergansers. Often see them there, and I see it's a large gull of some sort. I don't know what it is. 1 second. I don't know if I can show it to you or not. Hold on. Actually, I don't know if it's a large gull, but it looks large. It looked large when some Canada geese swam by, but it's by itself now, so no way to compare it to anything. 1 second. Oh, hold on. I gotta get out of the way. Crazy bird watchers. Okay, let me just, there we go. Come on, there we go. You know what, we are going to continue this way, just in case. Turn around, but I think we'll go this way instead. I see some geese in the air. I wonder if they took off from the lake. That would be my guess. Street lights are coming on already. Oh, maybe they're coming into the lake. They seem to have circled around. Or turned around, I should say. You know what, that makes sense actually. Well, I think about it, we've been at sapsucker when the geese come and go, you know, late in the day, and we wonder what's going on. Oh, what was that? Looks like a gull of some sort. A couple gulls are in the air in the distance. Obviously, there's a lot less activity on the campus right now. Far fewer cars driving around, and you know, very, very few people walking around. Sometimes you try to get through this particular intersection and it can be very, very difficult. It's depending on the time of year, it can be a very busy intersection. It's definitely, the way it's darkening up and everything, definitely too late to go to sapsucker, so I think we're staying here for the duration. I apologize for missing sapsucker. I wonder what it's like there. I mean, is there ice on the pond, or isn't there? Had some mild weather last couple days, but it gets cold at nights also, and so things might still have a layer of ice on them. And as we saw last week, that can that doesn't help in terms of bird activity. The other thing that's going on is, as we've seen today, in many places, instead of seeing areas with a lot of bird activity, maybe more than you might ordinarily expect, we haven't seen much of that at all, and that, I think, it just seems to be that because we have yet to really freeze over, there are plenty of other areas to go, and so the bodies of water that might not freeze really even at all. They're not as important or as much of a draw as they might be otherwise. I've described this before when I always think back to a mild winter, and I'm not going to declare that this is a mild winter, but I think back to a mild winter years ago, and I've mentioned this before, and it just seemed like, I remember I was visiting sapsucker. This is before the tour ever started. That particular winter, there just wasn't much activity around the feeding garden and that area of sapsucker where the lab is, and I think it's it just seemed to be because Well, there was essentially no snow anywhere. Oh, let's go straight. And so, I mean, there were that area wasn't maybe quite as important. Didn't have quite as much of a concentrating effect. Decent chance we won't find anybody today. I don't know. Well, doing my best, of course. Quite a few cars here in the lot. I wonder if there's something going on. There must be something. In the air, I see look like 3 more Canada geese. you, Hawks? Where are you? We want to see you. Of course, it's certainly possible I've driven by them 5 times. I don't know. I'll look at Bradfield. Not that I expect anybody to be there on any of the perches, but you never know. I don't see anybody. Canopies. I feel like I'm letting you down. We didn't go to Sapsucker. We're not finding our hawks here on the campus. Just been a quiet day. I hope you don't feel like it's been a complete waste of time, but it would have been nice to see more, that's for sure. You know, I'll show you something that I don't believe I've ever shown you before. Now, we're on the Cornell University campus, of course, and Ithaca is also home to Ithaca College. And there's something that Ithaca College has done every year forever, or at least quite a few years. And there are two, they have two primary tower buildings that probably are their most prominent feature, and I don't even know what their names are. And they do something, and in fact I saw it even last week, and I'll show you in a moment what it looks like. I want to reorient the car because we can see it now from here. What they do is, you know, to celebrate the new year, they do something a little different. And I'll show you the buildings, those buildings right now. As soon as this wire cooperates. So we have in the distance Ithaca College. A lot of heat shimmer, sorry. And those two buildings, you can see they have a 2 and a 3, meaning, you know, representing 2023. And I've never been here for it, but apparently on, you know, as when the year changes, you know, midnight on what is, you know, becomes the 1st of January, that 3 will become a 4. And they've done that for years. We've got to get out of the way here. Like I said, I've never actually witnessed that happen. So, you know, I've never, like, been here at midnight to watch that, you know, the actual change. I don't know if they do anything differently, you know, with the lights as the clock is counting down. I have no idea. And I don't know if there's any kind of a celebration there on their campus or anything. I can't say. But it's just, you know, a little something, and it's kind of nice to see. And if you think about it, I mean, we were able to, you know, granted I zoomed in a bit, but we were able to see that relatively easily. So it's, you know, it's obviously a big presentation. Don't know how they make it work, you know, in terms of you know, how the lights are controlled. If I don't know what they do to have that done. I don't know if it's an immediate switch from 3 to 4. If you know, people turn the lights on, and, you know, if there are people situated in various, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it would be easy to just have, if you don't have the electronics, they might have the electronics these days, but even if you don't have the electronics, it would be easy enough to have people in the various rooms that are necessary to either turn lights on or turn lights off. And you just, as they you know, as the clock winds down, all of a sudden, you know, at midnight sharp, everyone just does what they're supposed to do. I'd rather be showing you birds, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Here. It's getting late, everybody, so we're not going to have too much more time to look. case you were wondering, this area is considered West Campus, or at least the edge of it. And it's it's when you get to what's called West Campus, it's mostly dorms or whatever. I'm not sure what it is these days, quite honestly. And the part of campus where most freshmen, if not, I'm not sure, it might even be all freshmen, I'm not sure, but when they first come here, they will, I believe, be placed in residence halls on North Campus. Now, if you're wondering, is there a South Campus or an East Campus? Well, there may be areas, obviously, that are, more Southern or more Eastern, but you never hear anybody refer to them as East Campus or South Campus. Just don't hear that. And North Campus is now to our left. It's back that way. And I'd say we're in the central part of campus. I don't know if it's officially referred to as Central Campus, but I think of it as Central Campus. Somebody just flew over, but not a hawk. I feel like I'm letting you down, quite honestly. The days are getting a little longer, just a touch, not noticeably, but we'll take every minute we can get. Drive through here, I guess. was Lucky Star by Paul Hardcastle. I like that. And I'll play something else in a moment. I think it will be, not that I've played any other music today, but I think it'll be our last song of the day because it's getting dark and I'm getting nowhere in terms of finding our hawks. But I'm just looking in the distance here. 1 second. Nobody there. What's going on with this thing? Oh, I know. just saw a couple mourning doves. Well, everybody, I think I ought to just close up and head home. Don't think we're finding anybody. Unfortunately, I apologize for that, but sometimes they can be hard to find. Wish we had seen, as I've said, I wish we had seen a lot more today, but it was nice to go around and see what we did see. And I hope you enjoyed that. It just seems like we were doing a lot of searching today, whether it was searching for sandhill cranes or searching here on the campus or searching in general, just not finding many birds, but we did get to see some here and there. I did enjoy, even however briefly, seeing that red-headed woodpecker. That, quite honestly, we've been there to that location a number of times, not just this year, but a number of times, and never would get to see a red-headed woodpecker. So it was nice to see one for a change there. And as I had said while we were there, it's the first time I had ever seen one there. I've been going, making trips there either while with you or when the cameras were off. Just hoping to find one there, and just never could find one. And just, gives me some hope to find one maybe the next time we visit, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll have a better look than the one we had today. We had a decent look, but not a long enough one for my taste. Anyway, but it looks like it is time for me to finish up our last tour of the year. I want to wish you all a very happy New Year. I hope you'll be able to celebrate and, maybe stay home and do what I'm doing, and I'm going to stay home, but safe and sound. But otherwise, maybe spend some time with family and friends. And I guess it's time for me to pack up. Everyone, I want to wish you all well. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.